What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Just a guy on my lunch break is back. My first day at my new job today, so I'm headed that direction now. Got about a 20-minute commute, so I wanted to drop a little note. I knew this was coming. I want you to just sit tight for a minute so you can listen to the rest of this video. So, I was in Walmart the other day. As I walk in, there's a lady standing outside handing out pamphlets, for Urban Ministries, which is an organization that, helps provide food, shelter, things like that to the indigent or homeless. I donate to stuff like this all the time, right? There's pretty much not a time that I go into a store and that someone asked something like that of me that I don't proceed to go in there, get them something, bring it back out. Same thing with, recently we had this hurricane situation that came through western North Carolina, which I live in North Carolina. I love my home state. It didn't necessarily directly affect where I live so much, but to the west of me, it was really, really bad. I know you guys saw the pictures, saw the images and videos of how destructive it was. And places like Lowe's Hardware, when you check out, you have the option to round up to the next dollar to give some of your own money to help with those recovery efforts in that area. Over the last month that I've not had a job and I've been home, working on flooring, putting in new lights in my house. I've put in a new vanity, new toilet, and new sink handles. I've done all kinds of upgrades around the house over the last month. So when I tell you that I've been to Lowe's probably 50 times during that last month, that's no exaggeration. And just about every time I went in there, I rounded up. I gave some of my money to western North Carolina. And that's during a period of time where I didn't have a job and I'm looking for a job. So something I do on a regular basis. But inevitably, if ever you put anything online, if you ever put yourself doing a charitable act online, it is met with vehement hate. And that's what I want to talk about. I'm surprised it took a couple of days for me to get the comment. I'm shocked. I was thinking they were going to start flying in immediately. But it occurred to me, and all the person said is don't put yourself doing charitable acts online. Why? It's all about the intention. And if you want to point back to the Bible and what, if that's where we're going with this and what Jesus said about it, he said, don't do that so that it can be seen by men and you can be glorified by men. Do it in private so that God sees you and then God will repay you or bless you for that. Okay? So, but he also said that later on in years to come, we will have the ability to do so much more than what he had to do during that day. What he meant by that was television, internet, the ability to expand and push a message to the masses instantaneously, as opposed to it having to travel word of mouth and slowly permeate, throughout the people of the land. So it's completely different now. And it occurred to me and I was like, I knew it was coming. I knew someone would say something, dropping some hate. But I thought to myself too, if I would have said something hateful or done something hateful or, videoed, some guy getting arrested outside of Walmart for trying to steal or something like that, people would have been like, oh, well, that's what you get, blah, 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 blah. If it would have been something hateful, it wouldn't have heard a negative word. But because it showed me in the light of doing something charitable, people automatically assume that I am self-glorifying, not even knowing and not even understanding what my background is and what I do in the background. So people come on and they see something like that and they automatically assume, do you think that this is the first time I've decided to donate and help people, and so I want everybody to know about it? And you don't know how many times I've done that in private and never videoed it. But my intention was to reach more people and to show more people and maybe inspire more people to also help. I got laid off from a job a month ago, okay? I want to be clear about that. A lot of you who know me and who know me well know this. I got laid off from a job a month ago. So I've not been employed. And I still have been giving my money to help people, okay? This is not so that I can get some sort of pat on the back from the people. I do this hoping to inspire others to give the same, right? And I just want to put that out there because, you know, I think that's something that is wrong with this world, you know? Because it will be one thing, for me, it's all about healthy and happy living, you know, and that's kind of what I do on this channel. Same thing with an exercise video. You know, I show an exercise video of me doing something positive for myself, doing something that helps myself. I'm being charitable to myself. You know, I don't see anybody jumping on, you know, don't put videos online of you bettering yourself. Why not? Why? You know? But if I threw around hate online, everybody would laugh and, you know, nobody would say anything negative to me at all. In fact, I did a, you know, kind of a, well, I was partly joking, a joking video about the Prime drink yesterday. I did a video about that, and, you know, it was a joke. Everybody knew it was a joke, could tell it was a joke. And everybody had a good laugh, you know. Nobody said anything about that. But don't ever post yourself giving to charity or something like that, because to people who don't know you, they automatically assume that this is just what you do and that you're not sincere, that it's an insincere thing that you're doing. And I think that's really a shame. I think we should change that. I think we should change the way society looks at that, you know. But I just want to be clear. I just want to say this, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I know some people are going to say, well, you're just going to have there's going to be haters out like that, you know, screw them. You know, there's going to be people to say that to this video. And you're right. I mean, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. But I just wanted to let you guys know, and I said this in the video. But it didn't matter. You know, it didn't matter. You know, I still had somebody come on and say what they said. But I said in the video, I want to be clear, I'm not doing this for pats on the back. I'm doing this to remind you to give stuff. You know, I've done it before when I went in my closet and cleared out a bunch of old clothes and stuff like that I didn't need, and I was going to drop it in one of those big boxes of the Salvation Army and stuff like that. Reminding people to do that. You know, what's old to one person is new to the next person. You know, and I want people to be aware of that there are people out there that are less fortunate than you. So if you've been blessed with certain things, if you've been blessed with enough money to buy some cans of food for someone, if you've been blessed with enough money where you have an excess of clothes, where you're able to go into your closet, pull out a bunch of clothes that you don't even care about anymore and put them in a bag and throw them in a Salvation Army donation can, if you're able to do that, do that. Do that. That's part of your responsibility as a person, as another human being, is to help other human beings, and I really do feel that way. And of course I have a giving heart, so I can't help but it rubbed me the wrong way when somebody goes, don't post yourself doing charitable acts online. Well, I'm not doing it so you'll pat me on the back, dude. I don't want anybody to say anything, and I was absolutely not expecting anybody to jump on there and say, oh, good job, man, you're such a nice guy. That's not what I wanted. In fact, I should have just turned the comments off. I don't want a pat on the back. I was hoping to do it to inspire, so that when people see it, they're like, yeah, that's true, I should do that too. I should do that too. Because there are organizations out there like Urban Ministries and Goodwill and places like that that help people who are less fortunate and who don't have as much as you do. There are places like that out there, and there are people like that out there, and I don't want to ever forget that. I don't want all of you out there to ever forget that, and that's important to me, in living this life. And I think that we've been mandated to do that, and I could see it if, I've got almost 350 videos on my channel now. I've got maybe one or two of me doing something nice, for people on there. I can understand it if every one of my videos, if the entire content of my channel was me doing something for charity. And then what that would mean is that now I'm making money off just me showing myself doing stuff for other people. And that's not what I'm doing. But even if I was using that to make money, if I'm taking that money that I use, let's say I made some money from that video where I was donating some food items. Let's say that that video was monetized and I made some money off of me donating those food items to Urban Ministries. Let's say that I did make some money off of that. If I'm taking that money and then putting it back into the community by donating food items to Urban Ministries, what's the difference? What's the difference? But I just wanted all of you out there to know and to understand my intention behind that. And I understood when I did it that it was seen, that it's always been seen as one of those things. Oh, well, you shouldn't video that, because then that becomes about you and giving yourself a pat on the back and not about the good act that you're doing. But I just want to be clear, that's not an isolated instance for me, okay? And I do stuff like that all the time, and I get the good feelings from doing that, whether I recorded it or not. But my sole purpose in doing what I did that day was just to remind people that there are others out there that are less fortunate than you, that could really use a blessing from you, could really use some cans of food from you. And it's very humbling to go and buy a few cans of food for someone and pull out my debit card and then do what I have to do and then leave And as I'm pulling around the corner, notice that there's someone on the side of the road who's completely indigent and completely homeless and doesn't even have a bank account, doesn't have a home or a bed or a place to lay their head. None of those things. It's very humbling to think about how I've been blessed in that way. And I cannot see not in turn taking that which God has given me and blessed others with it. It just makes sense to me. It just makes sense to me. But you know what? With that said, I'm going to pray on it. I'm going to pray on it. I want to know what you guys think, honestly, sincerely. You know, I mean, I have my own opinions on it. And when I see some of those inspirational videos like online where someone will walk up to a homeless person and they'll give them this certain amount of cash or whatever and stuff like that, and I do think to myself, well, this person's probably earning money off of this channel on which they're showing this. And there's been times where I've gone to their channel and I've looked and I've seen what their channel is all about and this and that and the third. But still, in spite of it, the way I looked at that in the end is it still inspired me to see that homeless person's face and to see how emotional they became, to see how appreciative they were that somebody was taking the time to help them in that way. That still inspired me. I don't care what the reason, the person who was doing the good thing or doing the charitable thing, I don't care the reason that they were doing it. It still inspired me to help others. So I guess that's really what matters. That's really what matters. But we live in this sort of society where if someone's over there drowning, we pull out our cameras and video them instead of helping them, right? But nobody wants you to pull out a video and video yourself helping someone and doing something positive and charitable for someone. Nobody wants that. I don't know. Just seems backwards, man. Just seems backwards. I love y'all. I gotta go. Just a couple of thoughts this morning I wanted to get out. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment down below. See you next time.